Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. After we finished our round of ASG Golf yesterday, we're going to take another swing out to a different course as we play ASG Golf from ASG Games, I think. I'll have to double check that. It'll be right when I go to upload the video. This is, just like it sounds, is another golf simulator. It's got some similarities to APA, but there are some differences to it as well. So I'm going to put this on the channel as well and see which one I like better. There's potential I may like both, but it's more likely I'm probably going to like one or the other. But let's go meet the golfer that we're taking through today's round. Oh, it's Oakland Publishing Services. Look at that. That's always helpful. But once again, we are taking Tiger Woods out again on this round. Similar to APA, we've got the results in there. It'll be similar to APA, where we'll have three. This time we'll be rolling 3 dice, though. We'll have the red, white, and blue dice. Red and white we'll use to get our result from this chart. Then the blue will impact us on another chart when we go to determine the direction that the shot flies. So we've got average results, but I don't think you get any bonuses for hitting your average. No. But those are the ratings that we'll need to consult for determining what club we want to use. We've got woods, irons, and putting. The approach shot is gone this time. I think there's a different shot for it in the series of charts that we're going through. But let's move over to the main game area now, and we'll take a look at our course. The holes do look a little bit different with ASG Golf. I like both approaches. I like the flyby hole on APA, but I like the approach here once you get into the game. So I think there are good things on both ways to set up the hole. Where in APA you get the flyby, so it's easier. So I think it's maybe a little easier to plan your initial shots. But here, the center line I think makes a bit more sense when you're actually looking at it on the hole. So that way it's a little bit easier to visualize, okay, I'm on this side of the center line versus the other side of the center line, and it's easier to visualize the shot that way. But we are at Augusta National today, so I think we're all set with that. So let's get into this one and jump in for our round of Tiger. In round 1, we're aiming at the red pin, which is, if we can zoom, hopefully we can zoom in on that. But that's way in the back corner of the green. We've got some sand traps. Actually, let me zoom back out to get the full view of the hole. We've got a sand trap in the bunker. We've got water around here. Is that water or is that deeper trees? That might be deeper trees. It's not quite clear. I think those are deeper trees, actually. So we'll need to be careful of that. I'm just double checking here. Any blue color represents water. So I think those might be deeper, I think those might be forests. Medium green shade, okay. Actually, that seems way too much to be water though, but it might all be water now that I'm looking at it again. Use the optional tree charts. I wish there was a way I could tell what color the trees are here. Maybe it'll be noted on the actual course, but we need to roll for the condition of the course today. So we're going to roll 3 dice once. We're going to roll red for course conditions, white for wind strength, and the blue for wind direction. Although I could very easily say that everything's normal, which I think for a first play, I think we're going to do that. So I think we're going to call it, so I think we're going to say the course is normal and calm wind. Because in this video, I do want to focus on the mechanics of the game, just to make sure I get the feel for the game properly. So with that in mind, I think we're all set for our first shot. Once again, I didn't see any details about dog legs here. Special terrain when we're in a... So we do have special rules that we need to worry about. I think they're not noted on every hole, but... All right, there's also notes on what putting chart to use, but that'll be relevant when we get to the green. Keep our pin marked. I was looking for something about dog legs, but I don't see anything about that in here. Yeah, that's... Wait. Not evident on the aerial views. It's probably going to be... It'll probably be talked about in the course notes. I was still kind of rambling and looking for that, but I think we're all set here for our first tee shots. I think we're just going to grab the one wood, aka the driver, and we'll let it rip. Make a note here. So we've got 3 dice. Red and white are going to be for our results on the chart, on the player card. The blue will be for directions. So let's give our first shot a roll. And I think coming in on the center line right now is just fine. Right, that's a 53, which on Tiger's card with a wood is a 2. So we'll go out to the chart here. Go out to our chart. Find our result in this case is a 2. 275. And then 4 on the red die is a right 5. So we're going 275. And once again, we're pretending Sir Isaac Newton was a hack. So 275, right 5. And that looked like a beautiful tee shot. I would take that all day long. So now we're 125. We're actually going straight for the pin here. So 125, actually, yeah. 125, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. So 170, and I'm probably looking at an iron for that. I think with an iron on a result of a 3, I want something I can hit about 170 on an iron. I think we're going to reach for... the 8 iron on this one. So let's see what happens on Tiger's second shot. So we're reaching for the 8 iron. This was 270. No, it was actually 275. 275 left or right 5. So a very nice tee shot. Let's see what we're doing on the fairway. Let's see what we're doing with the 8 iron. Let's see, that's a 13 on an iron is a 3, which is 170, right 5. So we're actually right. So we actually managed to get right slightly off the green there. So I think we're probably going to want a wedge shot here. We don't want to put much on this though. So looks like 5 yards away from the target. And I think the target's going to be the pin in this case, which means we'll only need the die. We need our iron rating of a 3. We'll give this a... Okay. So I've got to remember how I roll these shorter wedge shots. Like I said, I definitely don't want to put much on this shot. Actually, that's a strong wind chart. I'm playing with no wind today. Let me see if I can find that wedge shot, no wind. Here we go. Okay. Wedge shots. Hold on. Okay. Oh, I see how it goes. So we roll on the chart, then we get the result from that. Okay. That makes a little more sense. So I think we only need the 2 dice for that. So we're hitting a wedge shot from 5 yards out. So wedge shot from 5 yards out. Tiger is a 3 on the iron. 34 on iron is a 2. We were aiming for the pin. Looks like we are at a PH, which is a pin high. So we have to re-roll 2 dice, and if it's a 66, we'll hole it out. Which would be very welcome. That's a 62, so we don't hole out. We're on the hole, so we roll for a distance away. This is a simple die roll. A 6 means we're 5 feet away. So now we need putting chart 2. What did we say? We ended up 5 feet away. Let's see if Tiger manages to save par here. So he's right about. So he's on the pin, but he's actually 5 feet away. .23 on putting is a 16. That should be in from 2 feet away, or from 5 feet away. Yep, that'll be in to save par. So 1, he's even on the day. And that's it for the first hole. Now let's move to the second. We've got a 575-yard par 5 waiting for us here. That's not fun. So the pin is, so we're on the center line on bold. 550, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75. So it's at 575, 10 left of center. Delightful. So I think once again here, let's grab the pen, Phoenix. We'll just grab the driver. I think let it fly, and I think coming in on the center line is fine once again. So let's give this a roll and see what happens. Let me find my one wood chart right here. That's an 11. I'm hoping that's, oh boy, that's not going to be good with the woods. That's a 12. Actually, that is good. That's a long drive. Oh, I forgot to do roll on the first tee shot. Whoops. So I get a long drive out of that, column 5. So that's 11, that's a 12, and 5 is a 290, roll 40. So we're actually going to end up right about here. So that's a beautiful first shot, still dead center of the fairway. Unfortunately, we are still a long way away from the green. Well, we're not too far from the pin. So we've got a 10, 210, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So we're 235 and left 10 away. Do I want to go right for it? If I can hit the 2-iron on... Actually, no, I'd have to hit a... I think I'd even have to hit a 3-iron average. Maybe I want to club down a touch on this one. That's a tempting thought as well. If I would have remembered to do roll, I probably would have... If I would have remembered to do roll on the first hole, I probably would have hit it... I probably wouldn't have hit as much club as I put into that second shot. But I'm rambling here. So for our second shot, I think we are going to reach for... I'm going to reach for the 3-iron, I think. Yes, we're going to reach for the 3-iron. Yes, my average is going to be a little low, but even with a little lower average, I'll end up on the green most likely. Do I want to move my center line, though? Oh, I forgot to do also... Hold on. I forgot to do... Oh, no. I don't get any flight on the ball from a long drive. I don't think. Well, one die and refer to the yellow chart for the distance of the shot. Use the original result for any directional adjustment. So actually I did have to do that. 12, I believe it was a 4, so right 5. So I am actually right there. Now that we've got that figured out, coming back to this shot, I think I want the 3-iron, and do I want to move? I think I'm going to move 15. I think I'm going to aim directly for the pin, so I'm going to bring it back 15 left. So 5, 10, 15. So that's going to be my line of origin for this second shot. Let's see what happens here. That's a 31, which with the 3-iron, actually 31 is a 2 with the iron. So that's a 230. And on a 1, left 10. So I overshot a bit. Probably not too bad, though. Okay, so that was 210. 215, 225, 230. Actually, I think I was... So I'm just going to recalculate this. I'm going to back up, make sure I get this right. So 12 is 290, roll 40. So I was at 330 and I moved myself, so I was 340, right 5, and I moved myself 5, 10, actually, yeah, 15. I ended up moved 15 left. So my roll on a 31 was a 1. Using my 3-iron was a 235. And the 1 is giving me left 10. So I'm definitely going to end up overshooting this. So 235. So 200, yeah, I'm going to wait. Well, actually, am I going to way overshoot this, or is it going to be bad? So that's 210, 215, 220, 225, 230, 235. But I'm going to end up left 10 of where I was aiming. Left 10. And I have a roll of 20. That's not great. So 5, 10, 15. And the rough would presumably stop that. So I'm going to end up right there. Which is not great. So I'm actually ending up here. So my third shot, I'm coming out of the rough. But I'm 5, 10, actually 5, 10, 15 yards away, and I can move my center line. So if I'm coming at this from the reverse side, actually it's going to be 15 left if I reverse my facing, is what I'd want to move that. So I'm at 15 yards away from the pin. I think I want to wedge 15. So I need my wedge chart again. Wedge 15, and from the rough, I think I want to aim for the pin. Yes. So I'm also going to move 15 to the left. And we just need the 2 dice for that. So let's see what happens here. .42 with an iron. I believe I'm using an iron rating. 42 is a 2D. Uh-oh, that's not good. Well, I'm coming from the sand on that, so I'm not worried about that. But a 42 is a 3. Coming from the rough, I'm going to end up pin high. So now I have to re-roll 2 dice to see if the shot gets holed out. That's a 61, so it won't get holed out. But I will end up on the pin, and I will end up 4. I'll end up 3 feet away. So I'm trying to make a putt for birdie on this. And I'm 3 feet away. I need chart 1 for putting. Where did I put my putting charts? Are down here. So putting chart 1 from 4 feet away. A lot of results are in. The 25 for Tiger is a 6. I'd be stunned if that's not in from 4 feet away. Yep, that will be in from 4 feet away for a birdie. That's it for the second hole. Now let's move to the third. There are special rules on these holes that I've been doing an absolutely terrible job of paying attention to. Anywho, for this hole we have to double the result of any short approach shot from 25 yards or closer. So if it's a +5, change it to a +10. Use putting chart. We'll be using putting chart 1 because we're aiming for the red pin today. We've got forest off to our left, and it looks like we've got some very deep sand on this side of the fairway. And I'm probably going to be moving my tee shot pretty significantly. Is there something here? Not on this hole, it looks like, so we're not worried about that. So our pin is at 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and 5 yards to the left of the center line. So I think I'm going to move my origin 5 left. So driver 5 left, and we're going to let it rip. That's a 62, which with the wood is a 2. So that's actually a very nice, that looks like it should be a pretty good tee shot. So 62 as a 2. 275. So 275, which means I'm going to end up, so I moved 5 left to the center line. Let me grab another arrow token so I can track where the ball's landing before I move the arrow. I think that'll make it a lot, before I move my flag, that'll make it a lot easier. So I'm 275, I'm right there because I moved 5 left to the center line. 275. Number 3 is going to be left 5, so I'm actually even a little bit further, which I very much welcome. So I'm left 5 right there. And now I'm directly in line with the pin, but I also get a roll of 35. So I'm going to end up at 310. I'm going to end up right there. That is a very nice tee shot. Which puts me 5, which actually puts me 5 off the pin, which puts me 5 yards to the left of the pin, but that is a tee shot I will not complain about in the slightest. What putting chart did I need? 1. That also has me 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 yards from the, also has me 45 yards from the green, from the pin, especially if I want to move 5 left, 5 right. So wedge 45, and we're going to move right 5 to make this my line of origin. Let's find my wedge shot for 45, which is right here. All right, so we just need the 2 dice. We won't need the blue one this time. I do need to stop the pen from flying, though. A 64 on, with an iron, is a 3. Iron rating 3, 3. And I'm aiming for the pin. I should have mentioned that. So aiming for the pin. I'm going to end up pin high coming off the fairway. Let's see if the shot gets holed out. I have not holed one out yet today. That's a 45, so it won't hole out. But I will end up on the pin, so rolling a die. A 5 means I am 4 feet away, I believe, right? Yes. 4 feet away. So now we're putting for birdie. Now we're 4 feet away from the pin and putting for birdie. .31 is a 6. That should be in from 4 feet away, and it is. So that's a 1 putt, which drops Tiger to 2 under on the day. So let's go right into the 4th hole. The rules this time involve, since we're playing under calm wind, we play this hole under strong wind conditions and make a directional roll as per the instructions. So we have to roll for our wind direction on this hole. One means we've got a tailwind, so we've got the wind at our back. All right. Just going to make a note of that. Tailwind. All right, and our pin is at 180, 185, 90, 95, and 10 to the left of the center line. Just make a note of that. 10 left for pin 1. So since I've got a tailwind, I probably don't want as much club into this one, which means I'm probably looking for an iron. I'm probably looking for an iron, and I'm thinking my 7 iron is probably going to be what I want here. Although I do need to find the wind. Are there wind charts for this one? And I don't know if there are or not. Wait, how does it modify my tailwind? I bet there's a separate chart for that. Let me just look here real quick. I apologize that this is getting to be a slow video. This is also my first time featuring this game on the channel. I've played it a few times to get the feel for it, but I bet it's only going to affect us on when we get into the approach shots. So now I know I need the strong wind charts, but we do have a bunch of sand that we need to be worried about on this hole as we're looking at the flyover. Yeah, I don't see anything in here that explains how the wind affects the shot, which is kind of annoying, but let's see, tailwind. I bet there are separate charts for the direction of the wind. Apparently there aren't. Optional tree rules, wedge shots. Yeah, I don't really see anything that's impacting us on the wind. Which wind chart to use for the hole based on the wind direction. So we do need the strong wind. I believe that's for the approach shots. So I think now that we've got that slightly sorted out, we're going to come back to our shot. I think I'm looking at my 7 iron here. And do I want to move? Let's see, I'd have to move 10 yards left off the origin line, which I think I will do that. So we'll move left 10, and we'll see what happens with our 7 iron off the tee. That's a 16, which can't be good. 16 with an iron is a 5. We probably overhit that a little bit. Actually, we undershot it. 175. The 5 is going to send us... Oh no, we get our direction. We get our perfect direction. Actually, no, we don't. 3 is left or right 5. So I have to move that off of my origin line, and I get roll 5. So I'm going to end up 180. I think I'm going to end up... So I was in line with the pin. 180, I'm going to end up going... I'm going to go right 5. Now is where the wind, I think, is going to come into play. So we're looking at a wedge shot of 5, 10, 15. I think we're looking at a wedge 15. And this is where the wind is going to come into play on us. 25. And a strong wind. Okay? So 15 yards away. And we're going to aim for the pin. Let's see what happens here. We need an iron shot. That's a 56, which is probably not good. That's a 13. That seems problematic. 13. And we're aiming for the pin. We're +5, so I think we overshot. I believe that means we overshot that. Not too bad, I don't think. And no direction, so we're just... So we overshot the pin. We are on the green, though, so we're 0 by 15 yards, 0 by 5 yards, 15 feet minus 2 dice. So we're going to end up 2 dice away from 15 minus 2 dice for our distance away. We're 8 feet away. And now we've got our first attempt to save, we got our first putt for saving par. We need putting chart 4. I've got right here, we are 8 feet away. A lot of results that should be in, so let's see what happens here. 8 feet away. 36, putting is a 24. That's not one of them. We're going to end up 7 inches away. That's not good. Right. So we're ending up there. Now we use putting chart 1, which since we're inches, we do have to roll for that. So we're going to make a bogey on this hole, it looks like. That's a 22. Putting is a 2. And yeah, that'll be in. So we 2-putt +1. Still at 1 under on the day. That's it for the 4th hole. Now let's move to the 5th. We've got a par 4, 455-yard hole here. Pin has been marked, and it is at 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and 5 yards left of the center line. So, with that in mind, I think we just grab the driver and let it fly. Yeah. It's a 275, so we're looking for it to end up... I think coming in on the center line is fine. So that's what we're looking for. Let's get our dice in there and see what happens. That's a cocked die. We'll roll that one again. A 32 is a 15. That can't be good. 15 is a 260. The 6 says right 25. Yowza. That's 260. Right 25. So we're going to end up 70, 65, 60. Actually, I might not mind that now that I look at it. Right 25, so 5, 10, 15, 25. And how much roll do we have on that? 30 roll. Five, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We're in the rough, so it's not... So we're actually at 290 just in the rough. So we're about here. And then there was a special rule here Actually, we got a couple rules on this hole where we have to deduct 10 yards flight and add 5 to any left-right directional distance on shots from the fairway or sand traps. But hopefully we're going to blast past those. But on all shots landing on the green, we have to roll an additional die and refer to that chart. But we'll talk about that later. We could approximate the rough. So I think we will. I haven't been paying attention to that either. So for this second shot, we're using the rough normally. So we're coming out of the rough. And I want to go, let's see, I'm at 80, 85, 90. So 290, and I have to go, let's see, 290, 10, 125, 125, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and left 5 of the center line, but the problem is I'm right 25 of it, so I have to go, so if I want to get back to the origin line, I'd have to add 30 distance to that, to add 30 to that, which I think I will do that. So I'm going to end up going right in line for the pin. The question is, what do I want to hit with it? I need to add, okay, so we're going to have to account for a reduction. So we're aiming, right, 5, 10, 15, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Actually, it's going to be 30 is what we need to get to. So I need to account for a 5-yard reduction depending on what I go for. What did we calculate that out to be? So 300, so 135, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65. So 165, I'm looking at an iron most likely for that. So 165. I think I want my 9-iron for that. I'm going to go for a, oh wait, I'm coming out of the rough. Let's remember that. I've got a normal lie on the rough. So I've got to club up a little bit. I think for the rough, I want the, I think instead I want my 8-iron. And coming out of the rough. So let's see what happens here. That's a 61 on an iron, which is a 4. 8-iron is a 150. Dead straight as I wanted it, but it's in roll 10. So I'm going to knock 5 off the flight. 145, left, right, 0, roll 10. So I got it exactly where I wanted it to be, 145. So I'm going to end up 10, 110, 135, yep, 135, 40, 45. So I'm going to end up right on the green and roll 10. So I'm going to end up 510. But now is where the roll comes in on this chart, where I've got to roll a die and refer to the following chart. So I'm going to refer to this chart. Let's see see what the ball does. That's a 1, so it's going to kick left another 10 yards. Oh, that's not good. So I'm going to end up on the fairway again. And 10 kick. Delightful. With that in mind, I think I want now a wedge shot from 10 yards out. So W10. And now I need to find my calm wind charts again for wedge shots. Right here. So 10 yards away. And I'm going to aim for the pin. That's a 36, which is a 5. Iron rating 5. I'm going to end up pin high once again. Let's see if I get a 66 to hold this out. A 64, close but not quite. So I don't hold it out, but I will end up 3 feet away. So I'll move those out of the way. I'll move the flag in to show that I am on the pin. And we'll roll for our putt. We need putting chart 2 for this hole. Need our 2 dice. We're 3 feet away. Our rolls that should be in. 14 on a putting is a 22. Shockingly, that's one of them, because that will be in. So we 1 putt even. We're still 1 under on the day. That's it for the 5th hole. Now let's move to the 6th. We've got a par 3 180-yarder here. I was just calculating out the shot. We are 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, and 10 yards to the right of the origin line. Special rules here. We need to add 5 yards to the flight of all tee shots. So keeping that in mind, I think if I want 180, I think I'm probably looking at my 8-iron once again. It's going to be a little much, but I don't think I really have an option on this because knockdown shots aren't as much of a thing in APA as they are. Knockdown shots aren't a thing here like they are in APA, which I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in my I'm going to talk about that a little bit more when I get into my end of December recap, which, by the way, is going to be a long one and probably on Sunday, so pop some popcorn before that one. I'd pop some popcorn if I were you, because that is going to be a long recap. I actually kind of like not having some of the extra rules in app that are present in app. I like not having them here, where you don't have to worry about working the ball, or you don't have to worry about whether you can aim or not. You don't have a lot of those things that, while it makes app a little more realistic, I think, it also makes it a fair bit more complicated. So there's a bit of a balancing act you have to strike between the two. But I'm rambling here, so let's get into our 8-iron shot and see what Tiger does with this one. And he's going to move right 10. Try to go for the pin on this one. That's a 53, which is a 2P. What does the P mean on these charts? I don't know if the P means anything on the... I don't know what in the world that is. Sounds like whatever it got stopped, but rambling a bit here. So we established that was a 2, right? 53 is a 2P, and I'm not sure what the P means, but probably from 50 yards or less, so we don't have to worry about that. Anyway, the 8-iron with a 2 is a 175. One is going to be left 5. So 175, left 5, and we have to add 5 to the flight of that, so I have to remember that. Left 5. So let's deal with that first. So that's going to be actually 180. So 150, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. So 180, left 5, roll 5. So we actually had a pretty good tee shot. We're on, if this was a 4th round, I'd be thrilled with that tee shot, but we're aiming for the red pin in this round. So we ended up being stopped on the pin location. It hasn't, is any distance away from the pin. So we are, looks like we are 5 yards away from the pin. So we're 15 minus 2 dice. Actually, let's go 180, left 5, roll 5, and we're ending up... Actually, we are 5 by 5 yards, so we're 23 minus 2 dice away. We're 21 feet away. Yikes. Let's see, and we wanted putting chart 4 because that's the first one for the pin. That's putting chart 1, okay? So we got putting chart 4. From 21 feet away, huh? Yikes, there are not a lot of results that are in. I think we're just going to go for it, though. Once again, we have a choice here of whether to go for it or lag it and leave us a little easier second putt. But we're going to go for birdie on this one. That's a 21. Putting is a 19. That's going to leave it 2 feet away. Now we want to go to putting chart 2, which is right here. Let's see how putting chart 2 does. We're 2 feet away. A 32 is a 30, and that'll be in from 2 feet away. So that's a 2 putt. We're still even at 1 under. That's it for the 6th hole. Now let's move to the 7th. A par 4 410-yard hole is waiting for us on the 7th hole at Augusta. We're at 400, 405, 410, 415, and 10 left of the center line. As for the pin we're aiming at today. Putting charts will become relevant once we get to the green, and nothing special here. So let's go right for it. I think we're just going to grab the driver and let it fly. Do I need to move on the center line at all? I don't think I do for the time being. So let's see what happens here. That's a 56 on a wood shot, which is a 13. Where did I put my... I think it's back here. All right, so that was a 13. That's probably that seems like a problem. 265. 6 is right 30. Yikes. So 265. So we're ending up 270, 265. Right 30. Yikes. Five, 10, 15, 20, 25. Oh boy, 30. And that will stop our roll dead cold. So we're ending up way over here in the... Probably in... What did we decide that was? Did we decide that was trees or water? Looking at it, I think that... That might be water, unfortunately. So our shot would end up taking a bath then. Let me just look at that. Okay, admittedly, that is one thing I don't know if I like about these courses, is it seems like it's hard to tell. It seems like I'm having a hard time telling, I think, what the... I think I'm having a hard time telling what the hazards are sometimes. And yeah, I think we will be... Looks like that shot will be taking a bath. So... We're in the water, which means we're going to play a shot right at 265, right on the center line, but we're going to be on our third stroke. We're going to be our third shot. And I think we're just going to use the... All right, 375, so we're at 110, 115, 25. Do we have anything that Tiger hits at a 125? I'm probably looking at a longer wedge shot. Sand wedge, does he not... Is the... Oh, pitching... Looks like sand wedge is as much as I can get from that. Unless there's a shorter wedge shot for shorter than... Shorter wedge shots. I'm looking for something longer than, I'm looking for something that's kind of in between the, actually 125 was probably about what I want. Oh, there are tailwind charts. Okay, I didn't find those on the, I believe it was back on the third hole when I needed those. Just going to make a note here. I believe that was hole 4. Okay. Okay, this game is going to get organized before it hits the channel again, but I think I do see this one hitting the channel again. Anywho, we're looking at a third shot. I think we were, oh, I know what I was looking for. I was looking for longer wedge shots. I was looking for like a 125 wedge shot, which I had a chart in my hand. Oh, I know what happened. I think I had the chart in my hand. Then I saw the separate wind charts, and that's when I realized, oh, I screwed up on the 4th hole. Which, of course, now the chart seems to have walked with Jesus. Oh, no, I know what happened. It was the next chart after I saw the wind chart. Okay. Hopefully you guys are enjoying me being an idiot in this video. Anyway, let's see, what did we establish? So 10. 110 gets me there. 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Actually, I don't think I want a shorter wedge shot. Do I? Oh, I know it started me looking for that because anything else. Looks like I actually want to go down to a sand wedge for this one. So I'm going to drop down to a sand wedge, and I'm going to move. Do I need to move 5 or 10 left? I think I only need to move. No, I need to move 10 left from my current origin line. So I've got the sand wedge here. Let's see what happens with this shot. That's a 46 with the sand wedge. So that's using an iron. 46 is a 14. 46 is 130. 6 is dead straight and no roll. So it's a straight roll. It's a straight 130. So we're going to go 10. 110, 15, 20, 25, 30 into the sand. Of course it is. All right, so 5, 10, 15, 20 yards from the sand. So we're going for a wedge shot, 20 from the sand, and we're going to aim for the pin. So let me find those charts again. Here we are, 25 to 16. All right, iron rating is a 3. .46 is a 14. So we're going to end up 5 yards short. So we're going to end up actually going for, actually that would be the second round pin. 5 yards short, and now that we're on the green, we get to roll for, I believe since we're 0 by 5, 15 minus 2 dice. So we're going to end up, we're going to end up 11 feet away. This is our first putt. Somehow, no, that was our third shot. So this is our putt for bogey from 11 feet away. And where's my putting? Oh, here's my putting chart. I want putting chart. I'm 11 feet away, so I want putting chart 1. 46, we've been rolling that a lot. That's a 30. That's a problem. That's going to end up 2 feet away. So now we want... So now we're going to end up 2 putting for a triple bogey. Ouch. 41 is a 21. From 2 feet away, that'll be in. Yikes. So that's a 2 putt. We are at plus... We ended up at plus 3. So now we're 2 over on the day. Yowza. That was a pretty terrible hole, but that's it for the 7th hole. Now let's go into the 8th. We've got another mammoth par 5 waiting for us, a 570-yarder, with a couple of dog legs that we need to account for, and deducting 10 yards from the flight of all second shots. So we're ending up... We're 5 yards to the right of the center line. I can tell that. 525, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85... 585 and 5 yards off the pin, or 5 yards off the center line, 5 yards right. All right, for our first shot, once again, we'll grab the driver and let it fly. Let me find my 1 wood chart right here. Okay, grab our dice and away we go. That's a 42, which is a 2. That's actually potentially good. 275. 6 is dead straight. That's very lucky. And roll 35. So we're going to end up 310 right off the center, right on the center line. So we're going to end up right there. And now we got to remember to deduct 10 yards off of our second shot. So I probably want to put a little more club into this one. The question is, how much more club do I want into this one? Do I maybe want the 3 wood? I'm thinking I might want the 3 wood on this one. Yeah. Because we still have a long way to go on this one. So the 3 wood. And I think I want to stay right on the center line. That's fine. That's a 45, which is a 3. So 240. What's my result on the blue die? 5 is either left or right 15. I'm going to go left 15. So 240. Grab that. So I'm at 310, 15, 115, 215, 40, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So 240, left 15, 5, 10, 15. And how much roll do I have on that? 45 was a, we established, I'm keeping notes here. That was a 3. So 240, wait. Oh, I took that left 15 and rolled 30. I might end up on the green from this. Oh wait, I got to deduct 10 yards from the flight of that, so it's actually 230. That's why I put more club into this shot. So I'm actually back. Well, I'll count that as 10 of my roll. 15, 20, 25, 30. So I'm going to end up right here. And my third shot is probably going to be an approach shot as I'm looking at this. So if I move on 5, 10, 15, 20, but if I move that far to make my origin line, 5, 10, 15, 20, if I move 20 right for an approach 20 shot, I need to knock 5 off of the flight, which I think is probably still worth it. So approach 20, right 20. So pin high would probably end up as being 5 short. Is how I think that would work. Let's see, a 12 on an iron shot's a 15. So 3, 15, plus 5. So I'm going to end up 10 yards over, which means I'm off the green again. Right, 10 yards off the green, but I was aiming for the pin. That's the part of the chart I'm looking at. So I'm going to overshoot by 5. Actually, wait a minute. I'm knocking it down by 5, so approach 20, right 20, and I'm aiming for the pin. So a 12 is actually a 15. Let me look at that again. That might actually end up being pin high, because I've got to knock 5 off for that. So yeah, that's actually pin high, because I had to move my center line so far. So I'm actually pin high, which means I need to see if I hole this out. Predictably, I do not hole out, but I will end up 5 is going to be 4 feet away. So now I'm on the pin. And I've got a 4-footer to try to save par, and I want putting chart 1. That's a 43, which is a 16 from 4 feet away. That'll be in to save par. So 1 putt, even. I'm still 2 under. That'll do it for the 8th hole, and what I think is going to be the last hole for this first part of the round. Let's go to the 9th hole. A par 4 460-yard hole is waiting for us on the 9th hole, to finish out the first half of the round. Our pin is way back here. So 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, and 5 yards to the left of the center line. So yeah, that's going to be a rough one to get to. But I think for the start, we'll grab the driver as usual and let it fly. Coming in on the center lines, trying to come in on the center lines, fine. We do need to add 20 yards to the flight of all tee shots, deduct 10 yards from the roll from any shot landing on the green if this makes the roll minus yardage. Any shot stopping on the first cross line of the green will roll backwards off the green, so we do need a note for that. But let's see what happens on the tee. A 65 is a 26. Uh-oh. High numbers are usually not good. 26 is a 250. 2 is going to be a right 60. So 250, right 60. We're probably about 500 miles out of bounds at that point. So 250, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Never mind, we're swimming. Delightful. So we're on a third shot here. We're going to move out to the 250. Well, actually, I think it was 260 technically. Nope, it was 250. So we're going to move out to the center of the fairway on that one, but this will be a third shot. Jeez, that's the second time we've hit the water in this round. Let's see, from the center of the fairway, we've still got to go about another think we established we got to go at least another 200 yards. We're 460, so that's 210, 15, 20. So 220, what do I hit 220? Off the fairway. That's looking like a 4-iron with roll, which I think we'll go with, and let's move our approach line. Let's move it 5 left. So we're actually there. I'm going to use this arrow token for 5 left for our approach line. That's a 31 on a 4-iron. I put my pen over there because of course I did. A 31 on an iron is a 2. Those are the 4-iron on the fairway. 215. Let's roll 6. Dead straight, so that's perfect, but roll 20. So 215. So that'll get us to 250 will get us to 450, so the center of the green. Actually, will it get us to the center of the green? No, it won't. It'll get us 10 yards short. It'll get us right there. So 250. Roll 20. 5, 10, 15, 20. Deduct 10 yards roll from any shot landing on the green. So we actually are going to end up there. Which means we're going to end up on the first cross line of the green. So we don't have to worry about that part. We are going to end up, we're ending up 5 by 10 yards. So we're 38 feet minus 2 dice, which means we're going to end up we're going to end up 33 feet away. Let's see, we want putting chart 1, since we're at the pin. And I think from 38 feet away, we're just going to lag it. We're already in the red on this hole anyway, so we might as well just... Actually, this would be a putt to save par. Let's go for it. We're already in the red. We might as well play aggressive. That's a 12, which is a 30. Oh boy. So we decided to go for it on a 33-footer. Going for it on a 12 was a 30. We left that one 2 feet away. So now we're going for a bogey from 2 feet away. That's a 26, which is a 26 from 2 feet away. That one's in as well. So we're at 2 plus 1. 3 over on the round. Ouch. So that will do it for this round, this half round of ASG Golf. I don't know if I'm going to finish this round or not because this turned out to be pretty horrendous. We may just shelve it and start over. Or, well, I don't know if I'm going to start over or what I'm going to do with golf, but I'll talk more about the 2 golf games, APA versus ASG, during my end of December recap on Sunday. As for what's coming up on the channel, Mystical Munchies should be going up later tonight with a drink out of the Final Fantasy XIV Ultimate Cookbook, Papa Nazi. Tomorrow, for sure, we're going to be continuing our playthrough of Mag 23 Guadalcanal, and I don't know what's all coming up after that. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care, everyone.